Welcome to today's expert session. I hope you're all doing good. As I promised you last time, today I want to talk a little bit about data ownership. So in the end, I want to talk about know your data, making data ownership work for you. When we talk about data ownership, I have a little agenda for you guys. So first we will talk about why data ownership matters. Then what even is it? Then defining ownership, who does what, essentially. There are different roles. It's not just one role with data ownership as sometimes people think. Then why data ownership fails. You see a lot of projects fail with data ownership or in general in data governance. And then I have a 5-step plan for you guys, how I would start my data ownership project and how you can get it done, essentially. Then in the end, we will have time for questions. So yeah, keep up for that. General, shortly before we start, all the questions you have, please put them in the Q&A. This is where I can see them in the end, and then I will answer them at the end of the webinar. If I can't answer them because there's no time anymore, which I think shouldn't be the case, then I will write you a follow-up email with all the questions answered and the recording for this presentation. Then let's start with a short introduction. Sorry, guys. Introduction about me. My name is Lorenz Kindling. I'm a senior consultant at Scalefree, and I'm working in business intelligence and enterprise data warehousing for around about 4 years now, 3 to 4 years. And yeah, I'm advising renowned companies in various industries already for Scalefree and shifted the focus to data governance in the last 2 years, essentially. I studied business information systems. I'm a certified Data Vault 2.0 practitioner, Snowpro Core certified. I'm a trainer. I do the Scalefree trainings in agile data warehousing, where we talk about Scrum for sure, but also on disciplined agile. I already had some presentations in this expert session about this, because we talk about modern data teams, right? Not just governance, but modern data teams and how you work in teams, and also topics like this. All right, this is just a short background about me, and then let's dive right into the topic, I would say. So why does data ownership matter? I think nowadays it's much more trendy, right? So a lot of people who are here or are interested in data governance probably know already why it's really important. Still, I wanted to cover some points. And data ownership is in the end essential for ensuring accountability, consistency, and trust in how data is defined, used, and protected across your organization. In the end, it's all around trust in your data. You need it to ensure compliance, right? There are a lot of different regulations nowadays, GDPR, ESG regulations, you have the new RE Act, you have so many ones regarding to financial institutions. So there are a lot of regulations, and to get compliant, data ownership is a really good first point. Second, it enables data quality. So when specific data owners are accountable, they are more motivated to ensure that the data domain is kept clean, accurate, and reliable. And in the end, it makes data just more trustworthy, and also other people have someone they can talk to if they find data problems, right? Or even the data warehousing team, if they find any problems, they know who they could talk to and who gets it fixed or has some advice. Third, it fosters aligned communication. So clear ownership just reduces misunderstandings in the company. Yeah, there are not so many debates and friction between different teams or departments regarding specific data definitions, requirements, or also usage of this data. So it gets much easier to understand what you're talking about. A good example, I talked about it in a business glossary already. What does customer mean, right? There are a lot of times different definitions for customer throughout the company. So it makes sense to have a fixed definition for that. Are these only, for example, if you have like a what is it called? If you have a subscription system, so you have a software and it goes through software subscriptions, for example. Maybe some say it's all customers, always a person who had a contract with us, but maybe canceled it now as well. Some may say it's only active customers who have a subscription active right now. So there could be different definitions, and that makes it just easier. Fourth, it drives better decisions, right? Ultimately, trusted data. So if you can trust your data, and it's overseen by clear owners, yeah, it's much easier and much more reliable to use, and probably more correct as well. So you can make strategic planning, decision making, and stuff like this just much better. Also nowadays AI, right? It's a huge topic. Reliable data for that. You need trusted data. You need business descriptions so AI can understand it. So I think it's a really big part of that. But what is the dilemma here? So essentially, you want your data to be an asset and not a liability. So what does that mean? Data without ownership mostly fosters risks and chaos. So yeah, you have no accountability, so that leads to errors. No one wants to take action. Essentially, who fixes the bad data? Is it the IT team? But they maybe don't know what to do because it's a business use case. So there's a big risk with that. Then you have poor quality, which can undermine the trust of your data. And you have a lot of regulatory pressure. The regulators, they demand traceability, knowing data origins, responsibility, and usage. And without ownership, it's just much harder. The completely opposite is then with ownership, right? You have responsibility, you can gain trust through that and quality. You can enable compliance and control of your data through the ownership, and you have a foundation for value in the end. You can use AI, BI, can start new innovative projects because you have data that you can trust in the end and that you can use as well, right? So really important on that part as well. So what are the different roles we have? And talking about ownership, a lot of time people just think in general, oh yeah, you need a data owner. But for me, in data ownership, there is not only one role, and that's also what you see in a lot of the literature out there or in the regulations even. It's a team sport, so you need distinct roles. It's not just one role. Because also there are much different topics you need to cover, right? So the first one for me is always the data steward. He's more on the subject matter side, and he's responsible for day-to-day data governance, or day-to-day management within the domain. So he gets day-to-day questions when there are. He maintains definitions, monitors the quality of the data, looks into dashboards, see how that is, and resolves issue. He also ensures in the end the fitness of the data. So is the data fit for the purpose you want to use it for? Is it accurate? Is it usable? Can you use it during this day and in general? Then we have the data owner. This is normally the main role in data ownership, right? He should be a business leader normally. And yeah, they are in the end ultimately accountable for a specific data domain, like for example, customer data, finance data, sales data, and so on. I would define data owners on this level. And they set rules, policies, they define quality expectations, approve who gets access, who gets keys, access rights. So he's in the end the one who makes the decisions, and the data steward helps them in the day-to-day business, right? And his focus is much more on the strategic value and the use of the data as well, right? And he should be in general strategical aligned, I would say. And then you have the data custodian. A lot what we do at Scalefree as well. Usually a more IT role, right? And yeah, they are in the end the technical guys who are the security and maintenance crew, right? They manage the technical infrastructure, the building of the data up itself, how it should look like. They handle storage, implement the security controls, manage the backups, everything that's technical in the end, right? Normally it's from the data warehouse team. Sometimes it makes sense to even have responsible persons in the data warehouse team for each area. So they have really profound knowledge how this part of the data warehouse is set up, and they can help with that, right? Yeah, these are for me the three main roles you should think about when talking about data ownership and how to set it up. But what you hear a lot is that these projects, they fail, right? You can't really do it. It's really hard, and it's hard for sure. But what are some of the common pitfalls or roadblocks that they come about when talking about data ownership? So I brought 6 topics here that I think here are really important. And the first one is for sure the lack of clarity. The roles only exist on paper, maybe in a policy document, but aren't truly understood and operationalized in the day-to-day business. And also even sometimes people don't even define their roles. They just look for data owners, they talk with people, but you need to have some clear definitions what this person should do, what is this person responsible for, and also make these people clear and teach them what they are responsible for. This also a lot of times leads to the second point, not my job syndrome. So essentially, a lot of people they get this role, they just get assigned, they don't really hear from it, or they don't care in the beginning, and they just say, yeah, that's not my job. I have something else to do. I'm working on this business project. Right? I don't care about the data part, or I just want my report, but that's the wrong step to take, right? You need to make clear that they are responsible for this data, that they are the ones who own this data, and they are the people in charge. So you need to have to make it clear to the people that they have this job, and it's a part of their job description essentially now, right? Hand in hand with that goes missing authority. A lot of times people say, no, that's not my job, right? I do this business part here, and they don't care what you say because you don't have the needed authority. So yeah, you need to have people in place, first of all, who have real power behind it, who can really do something about this. They need to have time, they need to have some resources. And also you as a person assigning these roles and trying to get people to get responsible, you need to have some authority as well. In best case from management, they need to stand behind you and make people clear that they have to do this. It's not something you choose or want to do. Sometimes it's something that gets enforced on you, and it is what it is. But yeah, you need to make clear that people need to take this role serious. IT is seen as a default owner. You see that all the time in every project, right? The business users or the business in general, they just assume that it's IT's responsibility because it's data. They don't want to work with data. We just want our dashboards, just the reporting, but you need to get it work, right? So that's like what you see all the time, all the time. People and IT, they need to work together, especially with data. You have so many business requirements, business rules. They want clear data, they want clean data, correct data, and they have the informations that IT needs to do it the right way. So yeah, it's a big part. Analysis, paralysis, yeah, that's a little bit in the end trying to boil the ocean instead of being focused or starting focused. A lot of times you see these data governance projects, they try to have the perfect ownership from the beginning of the project. Everything should get assigned. No table is allowed to have no data owner anymore across the entire organization, and they're just in planning loops and getting stuck again and not finding data owners. That's not how it works. Start small, focus on the most important ones. Start with a few, the most important business objects you have, and assign data owners there, and then grow it from time to time. And when you need to change something, you need to change something. But you can't do a complete plan over your whole organization in the beginning. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Tooling over ownership, or tooling is not over ownership. a lot of times you see that people will believe that, yeah, we buy a governance tool or we buy this nice data catalog and instantly, magically, we will have solved the whole ownership problem. No problems, we just define it and they're done. But it's much more about people and processes than about the tool that you implement. It's making people clear what this role means. It's teaching them, making them room to fulfill this role. It's so much about processes and people than about a tool you implement. You can use Excel in the beginning. It doesn't matter, but it's not done with buying a nice fancy tool from someone, right? That won't help you. What would be my 5-step plan to get data ownership in place in your organization? So how to make data ownership real? So first, I already talked about it. Start small and focused. Don't try to boil the ocean, right? Identify 1 or 2 critical data domains first, like for example, finance or customer data, ESG data, right? Find 2 domains, whatever they will be. Where's the pain the greatest, or where's the benefit the greatest of implementing ownership, or where is it most important? You can ask different questions, right? And focus on delivering value fast and first and real value, not half ownership or a big file where now everything has an owner, but nobody knows he's an owner. No, do these 2 use cases the correct way, test it out, look how it works, and then go on with that. Take learnings from there. Yeah, appoint and empower real owners, right? I already talked about it. IT is not a data owner. Normally, it should be a business person, a business leader, a person in the end who is dependent himself that the data is good and the data quality is good because he wants to make decisions with that. So in the best case, it's someone who uses this data, and they need to have a real mandate. They need to, yeah, it's not just done with a title. You are a data owner now. He needs to have a mandate as well and needs to have some power over his data as well. Define the rules, so create an ownership charter in the end. You need to have some kind of document or some kind of document in the end where it's clearly stated who fills the role of the owner and what is the core responsibilities of this role. Define the key data elements, specify the escalation process, keep the people accountable, data quality measures. So really, you need to have some rule set and policies in place or implement them so people can read about what is the power of this role, what do I need to do in this role, and how does things work, right? How do I, for example, escalate things when there are big problems with the data that doesn't get fixed or something. Track and communicate. You should have data qualities, KPIs. I think that's something new, that's nothing new, but sometimes they are just within the IT team and the business doesn't really care. But it's much more part of the data owner or the business side to also track these KPIs and monitor them because they know what they mean and how they work, right? So yeah, implement KPIs, completeness, accuracy, timeliness, all this stuff, make them available to the data owners, make them monitor it. It's important. Start small with a simple dashboard and then you can get more details, right? But the transparency really gives the data owner also the chance to have that's also a lot of times the problem, right? You talk about data ownership and data quality and they should do it and they want to do it, but they don't even know where to start. They don't have any KPIs, they don't have anything. So you need to give them something as well with what they can work, right? And then in the end, build shared understanding. I mean, tools, in my opinion, you shouldn't start with a tool. It's not the starting point. The tool doesn't solve your problem, but you will need some kind of tool to, in the end, have a business glossary in place, have these ownerships mapped, have data lineage in place, formalize handoffs between teams using clear data delivery agreements. All this stuff needs to happen somewhere. And I would also say one more thing here. What you see often as well is the data governance team, they then decide for a tool and it's this fancy, really big tool, but I have not talked once maybe with the data team, once with some business users, and in the end, this tool is not what you need. So do it together, do it as a key team. Data lineage is something a lot of IT teams have already. It's just not accessible yet for governance or business users. So yeah, talk with each other, find a solution together. Don't do it alone. So essentially, I think the key point here is start focused, demonstrate the value early with one or two business domains, show what the value is, show how it works, test it out, and then build momentum from there, right? Keep this momentum and start with other teams. Management will love it when you have one or two really important or value creating use cases in the beginning that really work. Instead of buying a big tool, which is super expensive and the project seems to be going forever and there's no value in that. So start smaller and then get bigger. Start small, but create value. Let's put it this way. What is the payoff? I mean, the payoff, you can probably already think about it, but in the end, you want to reduce risks and have fewer fires in your organization, right? Better data in general. Because clear accountability just minimizes errors, speeds up the issue resolution, and there's much less finger pointing. Then you have the compliance confidence. You have much easier audits. You will get much quicker response to regulators, and yeah, traceability is built in with your company. So yeah, it will make it much easier for you to be compliant to regulations. Then you have smarter insights and AI, trustworthy data in the end, just on general reliable analytics, and BI just makes better decision making, makes smarter insights, and you can start to really work with AI. You get explainable models. It's the basis for everything you do with AI. So yeah, start there. It really will make a benefit. You will get increased efficiency. Less time will be wasted hunting for data or correcting errors because people know who to talk to, know who can give them insights into this data, especially the IT team. They will love it as well if they have someone they can talk to and know this person knows the data or can make decisions on this data. So yeah, you will increase the efficiency enormous. And you will have a culture of responsibility. So in the end, data becomes everyone's asset, managed with care. So it's not anymore just the IT team, it's a whole organization thing. Everybody likes to have clear data, good data, and data to support decisions. So you will have much more responsibility from everyone. It's not just, yeah, the IT guys, they gave us the wrong stuff, or yeah, it doesn't work. It's their fault, but instead it's a culture of responsibility, and there are more than one people or one team that's responsible for everything, and it makes the trust across teams just much better. What are the top 3 takeaways for today you should take with you when you start your journey of data ownership? First of all, enables value and compliance. Data ownership, it really makes it easier for you to comply to regulations. You will have much easier path with regulators. They will be much happier with you. You will have good data quality, and in the end, just trusted insights and can focus on AI. Ownership is the same as strategic stewardship. What does that mean? In the end, data ownership is about clear business accountability for data assets, and strategic care moving beyond just IT control. It's not anymore about only building a data warehouse, getting some data quality measures in, but it's really about strategic questions and business questions as well. And you really start to see why it's so important to have this in place. Then smart value, build value, prioritize your key data, empower the owners, and then build an action plan with and take the momentum from there. So start smaller, get bigger with time, and yeah, build value early, not buy a huge tool, super expensive, and everybody starts shooting against the governance project, but rather start small and cheap, maybe with an Excel file, even just 2 use cases, see what you need, where pain points are in the process, how could a process even look like, and then take this momentum and take this action plan you build and yeah, widen it on the whole organization. All right, I hope this helped a little bit for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A right now. Let me have a look if there are already some. You can always send me a message on LinkedIn, Lorenz Kindling, right? Just add me there, or through my email. But if you need a helping hand, feel free to contact us here at Scalefree. Jürgen, who you can see on the screen right now, he's our sales manager at Scalefree. We do a lot more with data governance nowadays. We have worked in some really big projects and seen how to implement it and done it hands-on. So yeah, feel free to follow up on Jürgen if you have any questions, or if you just want to have a quick call. Yeah, we can always do that. Inside modern data teams. So what is the session? I hope all of you know already, but in the end, it's every second Thursday of the month. We talk about agile management, data governance, data mesh, and other modern data approaches. And yeah, what are the topics that that are interesting for modern data teams in the end? You can register for free, right? And you can also submit questions. So if you have any concrete questions that you want us, me and Leonard, is my colleague who does the sessions also sometimes, that you want answered from us, feel free to put them in there. Then we make a short presentation about it and try to help you guys get it solved. Thank you for your attention. And yeah, I hope you could take something of that session today. And I think I don't see any questions in the Q&A. Let me check. Not for now. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great Thursday. Have a great weekend already. And see you next time.